Okay. So any questions or points from yesterday's? Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Hopefully today's will be quite straightforward. We have 3 lessons. Let me just go back. So this is unit 4. We'll have presenting one's guru, Srila Prabhupada and present ISKCON gurus, then relationships within ISKCON. This mainly focuses on the fact that in one temple or in one community there are disciples of many different gurus and how to work together. And then the last one is just a course roundup. And I think what we'll do for that is we'll go through the questions that Leon will need to answer just to make sure that he understands what needs to be there in the answer. And then that's it. Okay. So let's. So first of all, we'll speak about presenting Srila Prabhupada. So think a little bit about what are the benefits of publicly promoting Srila Prabhupada as the founder, Acharya, preeminent Shiksha Guru of ISKCON for our present and also for the future. So I'll give you a couple of minutes, just think about that. Okay, any thoughts?
I've just got a couple. I'll try and be quick. One was like we can just follow by his example. Like if we were not to have Srila Prabhupada, then we'd just be completely clueless. And obviously he has a vision, so we can try and look forward to trying to attain this vision that he had.
So it will help us be more aligned with his vision and kind of more consciously working towards attaining his vision. Very good. Katamai?
Thinking, because I thought publicly meant that, for people who, like, not devotees, like non-devotees, I thought it will help the public connect to his teachings, and they can receive his association by reading his books and get to know about him. And it was also kind of like, how do I say it? Helps them understand that we do everything under authority. We don't just do everything like whimsically, or it's like a sentimental faith where we just like believe in God and that's it, and it's all on sort of based on belief and kind of sentiment. It's more like, okay, it's rooted in the Shastra, and there's there's a philosophy to back it up. There's a philosophy to back up the faith as well.
Very good. And that Prabhupada is like a representative or embodiment of that philosophy. Very good. And another point it's worth mentioning is that as ISKCON grows and there are more and more devotees are disciples of different gurus, and even those gurus may not be direct disciples of Prabhupada, but they are disciples of different gurus who are disciples. But Prabhupada is the glue. Prabhupada is the uniting factor that doesn't matter whose disciple somebody is within ISKCON. Prabhupada is the common denominator. Prabhupada is there for all of us, and that's why it's good to publicly promote Srila Prabhupada, because he's a kind of unquestioned representative of ISKCON. Does that make sense? Okay. And then we can also ask the question, do we require to present Guru when preaching? And then why or why not? Yeah?
I think it depends on like time, place, and circumstance. For example, in like maybe outreach event, you don't have to. You can just, maybe if it, if it's relevant, you can. For example, if we can present, Bhagavad Gita, and we can say, okay, this the one that we read is written by Prabhupada and like that. But I think, I think maybe, outreach is not so much, but maybe I found on book distribution it can help, like tell people about the books. Found like I often talk about how Prabhupada came to the West and how much like hardship he did, and he was 70 years old and he suffered heart attack, so it does help. And also when I give out my Gurudev's book as well, it helps to, I think it kind of endears people a little bit and makes it more personal, and then they're more likely to also like take the book as well. Because often there's like a picture of him at the back, and then I can tell them a little bit about him, and often, it often works for me. But I guess, like you have to think about if it's relevant, or make the situation better.
Okay, so whether you make a judgment whether it's appropriate or not appropriate. Okay. Leon?
I was thinking the same sort of thing. Like some people might sort of maybe be put off like that if you're giving out books like small Srila Prabhupada books. Like if you were just giving a higher taste to someone, you wouldn't want to explain, these like about gurus and stuff. They're just looking to. They're not going to be interested in it, basically.
Okay. Okay. So both of you seem to be saying that it depends on the circumstance. So if somebody is just interested in getting a vegetarian recipe book for their kind of to occasionally make some vegetarian food, then maybe don't present the principle of guru and spiritual master. But then if it does help, if there is some spiritual interest, then yes. So that's the general principle. When we are actually preaching, when we are actually presenting Krishna consciousness, then sooner or later we do need to present a guru, because a guru, he is Krishna's representative that we can relate to, even if we can't see Krishna. We need some connection to Krishna. We get Krishna's mercy through the guru. And then just the general principle of the parampara, the disciplic succession. So these are quite important points to understand. We present the existence of the soul, the jiva, we present the transmigration, reincarnation, we present, like being vegetarian, avoiding intoxicants. And then also one of the principles we present is the guru, who helps our connection with Krishna. Now, when we do present the guru, basically when you judged that the situation is appropriate, then who should we present? Okay, so Srila Prabhupada. Why do you think that's the best thing to do?
He's maybe more. He's a universal guru, so
Yeah.
it might be, useful or relevant to more people rather than individual Siksha gurus, individual Diksha gurus. Sorry.
Yeah, Diksha or Shiksha. So that's a good point that he's universal. He's everybody's guru, whether Shiksha or Diksha. Okay. Katamai, did you have anything?
Yeah, same thing that we should present Prabhupada first because he's everyone's guru, and yes. I guess we present his teachings first before anything else. So we present his small books and Bhagavad Gita first, and then people can decide for themselves once they start to practice.
Yeah, once they feel ready, then they can kind of start looking for a guru, or sometimes it just happens organically, naturally. Okay, but generally present Srila Prabhupada. Okay, I'm just going to ask Katamai this time to keep reading the slides because your laptop is working so hard that I can hardly hear you. So my apologies for that. Okay, so Katamai.
Presenting Srila Prabhupada. ISKCON devotees shall instruct new members to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada and to receive guidance, training, and assistance from those who are practically and directly instructed them in Krishna consciousness. ISKCON members shall choose when and from whom they wish to request initiation. They must focus their attention on Srila Prabhupada as the founder Acharya and as their preeminent Shiksha Guru.
This again emphasizes this point. First, take shelter of Prabhupada, present Prabhupada, take shelter of Prabhupada, and then when you're ready, then you make a choice. Because otherwise, if other gurus are presented maybe too early, then there is a pressure, either conscious or unconscious, to take shelter or take initiation from a certain person. We'll kind of discuss that a little bit more later. This is a verse by Sanatana Goswami. He says, Gopayat Devatam Ishtam, Gopayat Gurum Atmana, Gopayat Cha Nijam Mantram, Gopayat Nijamalikam. Katamai?
One should hide one's Istadeva, one should hide one's Guru, one should hide one's mantra, and one should hide one's Japamala. Okay,
so this is not it doesn't mean that we shouldn't. Ishtadeva means our worshipable deity or our worshipable Lord. So it's not that we don't mention that Krishna is our worshipable Lord. This more refers to very advanced devotees who may already understand their particular relationship with a particular form of Krishna, and then they're cultivating this Raganuga Bhakti or very high level of devotion. So that's not something you speak about. It's not something you kind of put on the notice board or mention in class. Maybe if you have some very, very close friends who are kind of similarly advanced or with your guru, then you speak, but this is not for public consumption. And the similar thing with hide one's guru. So some devotees interpreted that one should hide one's guru's swarupa, like the form that they serve Krishna in the spiritual world. But it also refers to don't push it in other people's face. Don't impose your guru on other people. So we may be super inspired by, let's say, Radhanath Maharaj, and other people, they offer respects to Radhanath Maharaj, but they don't really get that same inspiration. They may be inspired by Jayapataka Maharaj or Satsvarup Das Goswami or someone else. Okay, so just kind of respect that live and let live principle. So this is what it means to one should hide one's guru. But obviously among God brothers, God sisters, that's a different situation. Then you can glorify and talk about your guru and his instructions as much as possible, or as much as you want. One should hide one's mantra. So again, we need to understand. So the Hare Krishna mantra, we don't hide. In fact, we try to get as many people as possible to hear the Hare Krishna mantra, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, read, learn about the Hare Krishna mantra. But one's mantra refers to the Gayatri mantra. So originally, initiation was what we call second initiation now. So Diksha mantra was the Gayatri mantra. But as far as I remember, it was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it may have been Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who divided it into two. All the things that happened in initiation, getting a name, getting Japamala, getting Tilak, Gayatri Mantra, and there is one more thing which I forget. So all these things he divided into two. So we have first initiation when you get a name and Japamala, and second initiation when you get Gayatri Mantra. And then Tilak is already there. So hiding one's mantra refers to hiding the Gayatri Mantra. That's why Brahmanas, they chant it quietly. They even cover their hand when they're counting it. So that's what it means to hide one's mantra. And one should hide one's Japamala, so we also keep it in a bag. Okay, but the thing that's most important for us is hiding one's guru, or not kind of pushing it into other people's face. Yes, Leon?
Is the Gayatri mantra like chanted inside your head, like in your head?
So what I heard mostly is that it's not, some devotees just chant it completely in their head, and some devotees just under their breath, so it's not completely quiet, but like it's not just completely silent, but it's just so quiet that other people can't hear it. But when you get second initiation, you can ask your guru what's the best way to chant it. Okay, and it's also harder to kind of, you will have practice chanting Hare Krishna mantra and focusing on that, because it's easier to focus on something you can kind of saying it out loud and you can hear it, like the Gayatri mantra. It's just chanting it under your breath or silently. Okay.
Disciples of ISKCON Dikshan Shiksha Gurus should not wear or publicly display Guru t-shirts, posters, bead bag buttons, athletic caps, etc., other than Srila Prabhupada.
Okay, so again, I've not seen it that much recently, but there was certainly some time in ISKCON 80s, 90s when this was a big fashion. So you would have like a huge bead bag with Harikesh Swami's smiling face on it, or even, like these baseball caps with a guru on it, or t-shirts. So this is a lot less prominent now. But the same principle applies here, that your guru is for you to worship, but don't impose him on others. And then beadbag buttons, that's this little, this is the American name. I don't remember what the British name is for this little, any of you? Can't think of it just now. Anyway, I think you know what it means. It's got like a safety pin at the back, and then you can stick it on, and it's got a picture.
Badges.
Yeah, badges, that's right. So that was another thing that was happening, you would just look at someone's bead bag and you would know who they're initiated by, because, you would have like badge of Shivaram Swami, badge of, Harikesh Swami or Suhatra Swami or this or that. Well, like I say, I think it's gone down a lot.
ISKCON temple residents may keep photographs of ISKCON Dikshan Shiksha Gurus privately in their ashram quarters, but are not to display them publicly on ISKCON premises. Promoting occasional special preaching events may be an exception. Okay, so we spoke about this before, that on the altar we have like Guru Parampara, disciplic succession, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, six Goswamis. But whoever's your initiating guru, you just bring the picture on the altar when you are doing arti, and then take it off. Because otherwise it becomes that this is this person's temple, this person's ashram, and everybody belongs to that. This is a little bit what happened in the Gaudiya Math, that each of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples had their own ashram and own temple, and they became a little bit like that temple's acharya. This is in one sense traditional, but that creates a rift, or like a breakup of ISKCON, if they all start having their own ashrams, and then their disciples start having their own ashrams, and the uniting force of Srila Prabhupada becomes less and less prominent. But occasional special preaching events are an exception. So, if Radhanath Maharaj comes to your temple
and you want to advertise his preaching event, then obviously you can have his picture on the leaflets or even on the posters. Okay. So unfortunately, we can't do a skit on Zoom. Usually they're quite fun, but we can just kind of maybe mention a few ways that are inappropriate ways of presenting one's guru. So based on what we talked so far, what do you think would be inappropriate ways of presenting ISKCON present gurus?
Saying that our guru is the best guru and everyone should like follow him and everyone should take initiation from him.
Yes, that's definitely a no-no. He's the best for you. Other people have to decide for themselves what's best for them. Anything else? Okay, maybe in an ashram, if you live in an ashram and there's like 5 or 6 brahmacharis all initiated by different gurus, but you put up like a 2 meter by 2 meter picture of your own guru and nobody else's guru has, space to be put up. So that those things are kind of pushing it a little bit. If you got your own cupboard, your own locker, and then you can have, if you got your own desk, then that's fine. But basically, don't push it in other people's faces. I guess that's the underlying principle of these inappropriate ways. Okay.
That ISKCON Center officials shall be responsible to ensure that any and all websites published by the center prominently feature a picture of Srila Prabhupada on the introductory page. This picture should be larger than any other individual's photo, such as the JBC, center president, or guru. Srila Prabhupada should be addressed by his formal name and title. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness.
Okay, so this is again very important for several reasons. One is, like I said, Prabhupada is the person who unites us all. So that's why all websites or everything should have Prabhupada's picture, and also Prabhupada is the founder Acharya. So it doesn't kind of break up into splinter groups and splinter temples. And the other thing is that Prabhupada remains this founder Acharya and this uniting principle for all time to come. Even in his life, Prabhupada was very, very strict, but he really emphasized that his name should be there on all publications, his name should be there in all temples. And it's not because he was proud or arrogant or he just wanted to see his name everywhere, but he was thinking of the future, how this is going to be what unites ISKCON, and also so people don't kind of change history, as the decades and even centuries go on, then it doesn't get kind of changed that actually it wasn't Prabhupada who founded ISKCON, it was someone else. So then it's very, very clear for everyone. Okay. So what might be the consequences of neglecting these guidelines that we've just read?
Forgetting. That's what I can think of.
Yeah, so forgetting about Prabhupada, Prabhupada's not in the center anymore, one's own guru becomes the center. And in one sense, our own guru should be the center, but as well as Prabhupada. So Prabhupada should never leave the center. Okay, Katamai, you got anything else?
Yeah, I guess like it may kind of introduce like separation into different groups, and like I think what you mentioned, like people might go off and like kind of be in these little groups and temples, but then they will think that the other groups like bad, and then they would like kind of have more like fight with each other, or maybe like not cooperate, because I think Prabhupada wanted us all to cooperate. And like you said, the glue is Srila Prabhupada. He unites us all. So if we don't have Prabhupada in the center and we don't have that kind of that glue that unites us, then we might have our own ideas, or we might not want to cooperate so much.
Yeah, yeah, and that was a really interesting point you brought up, that centers might start fighting with each other,
Yeah.
might see each other as a competition rather than saying that we should work together, and Prabhupada unites us. And then sometimes it's these little things that make all the difference. Okay? What might be possible consequences of inappropriately presenting ISKCON gurus for the present and for the future? I guess in many ways this is a very similar question to the previous one. So neglecting these guidelines.
It might leave a bad impression.
Mm-hmm.
I might feel like we're just like a cult and we're kind of forcing things on others, and we're kind of like based around, it's like a different guru, very much like trying to force people to become their disciple.
Yeah, yeah. Leon, do you have anything to?
The same way Katamai was saying about the competition between sanghas,
Mm-hmm.
you get competition between like disciples of different gurus, and you get like separation between them, and
Yeah, very good. Okay. And what are appropriate ways of displaying the guru's photo? I guess we kind of discussed this a little. You both remember, yeah? Okay, so privately. That's the key. Okay. If you are a grihastha and you live at home, then you can have as many as big pictures wherever you want them. But in an ISKCON center, that's a different thing. Okay.
Okay, don't advertise, rather follow. It is not enough to repeatedly advertise that one is a devotee of Mahaprabhu by saying, I am Goras, I am Goras. Rather, those who follow the practices taught by Mahaprabhu are understood to get the results of being the Lord's follower.
Okay, so this is about Lord Chaitanya, but it also applies to our Guru. So just kind of shouting everywhere that I'm Radhanath Maharaj's disciple, I'm Radhanath Maharaj's disciple. That's one thing. But Radhanath Maharaj will be much happier with if you follow his instructions, if you serve him. Radhanath Maharaj himself very much emphasizes being humble and modest. I'm just using Radhanath Maharaj because I don't want to use any of our kind of, how would you say, initiating gurus, because again, that would create this, why this guru and why not that guru. So, okay. Okay, and a few more points I wanted to mention. One is when looking at Prabhupada and Prabhupada's teachings, Prabhupada's writings, there is a hierarchy of, you could say, importance or authority. And the hierarchy is follows. So most important are Prabhupada's books. So Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these books that Prabhupada translated and wrote commentaries on. The second level is Prabhupada's lectures. So you can even get them in a book form, the transcription of the lectures. He was traveling around every morning. He gave Bhagavatam class, usually so many other classes. So that's the second level. The third level is Prabhupada's conversations, morning walks. Again, it's a series of, I don't know, about 30 books. You can get them. I don't know if they're still in print, but sometimes you can get them. And that's Prabhupada's conversations. Quite a lot of places where he was, he would spend 2 or 3 hours. People could come into his room and ask questions, or sometimes he would go on a morning walk. Those would be recorded and transcribed. So this is the third level. The fourth level is Prabhupada's letters. So this is an individual devotee writing to Prabhupada about something, asking a philosophical question, a practical question, and then Prabhupada replying. The fifth level is the writings of the previous acharyas. So Bhaktisanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, all their books. That's the fifth level. And then the sixth level is writings of current ISKCON preachers. So you got Shivaram Swami, who writes these beautiful books about Vrindavan and the process of devotional service, Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. You got Radhanath Maharaj writing the journey home, the journey within, and so many ISKCON gurus, ISKCON preachers have a huge amount of books. Practically now it's thousands of books, just present ISKCON preachers. So this is the 6 levels. And the reason for this, that they're not all equal, first of all, obviously Prabhupada's teachings and Prabhupada's instructions are the most important. Of those, Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada wrote those for the next 10,000 years. He said, my books will be the law books for the next 10,000 years. It means it's for present generation, future generations. It's for the whole public. It's it's there for everyone. Second level is lectures. Prabhupada obviously gave the philosophy, but quite often he kind of adjusted it a little bit depending on the audience. So when you read Prabhupada lectures or when you listen to them, he presents, for example, Varnashram Dharma differently in India and in the West. Because in India it's already accepted. He says, you're not even a human life begins with Varnashram Dharma. And then in the West, Prabhupada is a little bit more kind of permissive or something. It's still for the public, it's still, a very open audience. We can still learn so much. There's some wonderful, wonderful quotes from Prabhupada's lectures, but it's a little bit more to a limited audience, if that makes sense. And then the third level of Prabhupada's conversations, morning walks, that's even more just to that particular situation. So he was talking to those devotees who were walking with him. They asked a particular question, maybe that was world events or something like that in that particular situation. So that's why it's the fourth level. And the fifth level is Prabhupada's letters. They are really, really sweet. They're wonderful. You can learn a lot from them, but you need to sometimes take it understanding that, number one, you don't know what the devotee wrote. You don't know the devotee's situation. And Prabhupada is responding to that particular individual. So preaching to a general audience is always going to be different from preaching to an individual and helping that individual kind of take the next step. So in some of these letters, Prabhupada is a lot more permissive than he would be in general preaching. So that's why these letters, they're kind of on the fourth level. And then we have previous acharyas, teachers, and present ISKCON gurus. Is this understandable? Okay. Okay. Okay, and then one more thing I wanted to mention in relation to this, that what might be possible consequences of neglecting these guidelines of presenting Prabhupada and kind of keeping our own guru private. We kind of really emphasize that Prabhupada should be in the center. Prabhupada is uniting us. But sometimes what can happen is that, let's say you are in a temple where there are 40 devotees and 35 of them are Radhanath Maharaj's disciples, and you're on your own there being Gopal Krishna Maharaj's disciple. So if Dadanath Maharaj is kind of pushed too much, his picture is everywhere, everybody's always quoting him, everybody's kind of always talking about him, all these god brothers, god sisters, then you might feel left out. You might start feeling a bit lonely and annoyed. So it can become a lonely experience that can, or if there's 40 devotees and 10 are this guru's disciple, 10 are this guru's disciples, like then there can be like cliques. So you got the Radhanath Maharaj clique and the Jaipataka Maharaj clique, and that's not good. That's not how devotional service should work. Okay, any last questions relating to this topic that we just discussed? Okay, so we can go on to the next one. In some ways, this is similar to what we discussed first, like the first lesson. So this is about relationships in ISKCON. So we'll speak about discrimination on the basis of guru and developing cooperative relationships. So discrimination, the definition of discrimination is?
The perceiving, noting, or making a distinction or difference between things.
So this is not necessarily negative. Just using your discrimination is actually something that's encouraged. It means you kind of notice the difference, you use your intelligence, but when it's used to kind of put some people down just based on belonging to a certain group and kind of pushing some people up because they belong to another group, that's a negative discrimination, but often that's just called discrimination. Okay?
Discrimination is a prejudicial, did I read that right? Prejudicial treatment of an individual based solely on their membership in a certain group or category. It involves excluding or restricting members of one group from opportunities that are available to other groups.
Okay, so discrimination is not necessarily negative. There are some things that are appropriate discrimination, even in our everyday life. We are walking on the street, we see that the red light is there, so we discriminate between the red light and the green light, and we don't cross the street when it's the red light, and we cross the streets when it's green light. Or we discriminate between children and adults. We maybe give more leeway to children because they are young, they can't think so well, and we have higher expectations of adults. So it's not always wrong to discriminate, but it can be wrong. So can you think of some ways of appropriate discrimination within ISKCON? So something that's good kind of discrimination.
I was thinking like discriminating between different devotees, like which level someone's at, so we can act appropriately with them. For example, like with younger devotees, we're kind to them and we like help them in their spiritual life, and we're kind of more compassionate to them, like we not expect too much from them. I think with equals, we're trying to make friends with them and kind of we can reveal their minds to them and just like talk about just become friends with them, and then with like senior devotees, we aspire to serve them and take instructions from them and be very respectful and submissive to them.
Okay, so that's a good way of discriminating. We have to be a little careful because it's not just number of years. So if I've been a devotee for 10 years, if somebody's been a devotee for 9 years, then they are younger than me, and somebody's been 11 years, they're older. So it's a little bit more than just years, but certainly you can take into account how many years they've been devotees. So it's usually a few different categories. One is just straightforwardly, when did they become devotees? Another one is initiation, like when did they get initiation? Another one is their age. So maybe they became devotees later than me, but they're 15 years older than me. So then I should still respect that maturity. And then the fourth one is ashram. So even if, such and such sannyasi is so-called a younger devotee than me, then still because they are in the sannyas ashram, then I offer my obeisances, I offer respects. For example, there's a lot of Prabhupada disciples who are not sannyasis, and there are a lot of sannyasis who are not Prabhupada disciples. Okay, so that's interesting. You're supposed to offer respects to a sannyasi, but like, does Kripamoy Prabhu have to bow down to Mahaprabhu Swami, who joined 25 years after him and took sannyas 2 years ago? So there's all these different considerations, and the devotee, from their own perspective, they will always look for ways in which the other person is more senior than them. So maybe they join later than me, but they're older, or they're a sannyasi, or even if they're not, maybe they're more advanced. Okay, so for ourselves, we should kind of find ways in which we can respect others. But the reason I gave all these different categories, so we can kind of consider things from not just one perspective, but many perspectives. But in general, what you said is correct. So that's a good way of discriminating. Leon?
I think in just simply discriminating between men and women, obviously there should be less contact between men and women, and women on one side, men on the other side. You might have a different kind of relationship with a man as you would a woman. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So again, this is appropriate discrimination. You won't go into the ladies' ashram to get changed if you're a man, or you won't go into the men's ashram because, there needs to be some separation. Like you say, stand on different sides. If there is a heavy pot that needs to be carried, maybe it's better that the men do it and not the ladies. And it's not male chauvinistic something, it's not a negative thing. It doesn't take away opportunities from ladies. It just considers that they are in a certain kind of body and they are able to do certain things, and other things may be more difficult for them. Again, we need to be careful. It's not that because they are a woman, they can't give class and they can't do other services. So we need to be careful with that. But this is, again, it's positive, or it's appropriate discrimination. We can also discriminate between Prabhupada disciples and others in ISKCON. Just give them some extra respect. And even with disciples of a certain guru, let's say you are a disciple of Radhanath Maharaj, and in your temple you are organizing Vyasa Puja for Radhanath Maharaj. So you will not send out the communication to the whole congregation of 200 people. You will send it out to your own god brothers, god sisters. So that's, again, it's appropriate discrimination. And it's completely natural and in many ways beneficial even to have some natural affiliation or attraction or sense of kinship with your god brothers, god sisters. It's not a bad thing. It just makes sure that it doesn't turn into a clique or something that hurts other people. Okay. Okay, there's a nice quote from the 4th canto here.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear sons of the King, I am very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, devotional service. I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask benedictions from me."
Okay, so Lord speaking to these prachetas, and there were many brothers, these prachetas, and one of the things that really pleased Krishna, they were performing austerities underwater for I don't know how many hundreds or thousands years, but the thing that especially pleased Krishna was that they had friendly relationships among themselves. It wasn't so much the austerities under the water. So this is a nice lesson for us also to take it. And it's not easy. One of the austerities of living in a temple or being part of a community is because there's going to be different people. With some of them, the chemistry is easier. With others, it's harder. But we should always remember that we are all there to serve Srila Prabhupada. We are all there to serve Krishna. And, you know, if there are some idiosyncrasies that you find difficult, just maybe offer respect from more distant, but always there should be that respect and level of friendship. And with some people, you will have a much closer relationship. So it's not that everybody has to be your closest friend, but have a respectful relationship with all devotees. For some, it needs to be a bigger distance, but always have a respectful relationship. Does this make sense? Okay. Okay. I wanted to just mention a few more examples of inappropriate discrimination. In fact, first I'm going to ask you, have you ever experienced inappropriate discrimination based on Diksha or Shiksha Guru? Just you can think about it whether you have. Leon is shaking his head, which means he didn't cut away. Yeah, I think in the last 20 years, ISKCON changed a lot in many good ways. So this is a lot less prominent than when they did first created this course. But examples would be like organizing Vyasa Puja for a guru and not letting anyone else in. Even if devotees want to show their appreciation for that guru, they may be like taking shiksha from that guru, either officially or just they really appreciate that guru, but they're not allowed in. Or, you know, if people find out that you are a disciple of such and such guru, then suddenly they become very nice with you. Previously, they totally ignored you, but now they find out you are Jayapataka Maharaj's disciple, then suddenly they become really nice. So that's, again, it's even though it's a positive change, it's not nice. Or you come back from India and you bring some Mahaprasadam from Radha Madhava, but you only give to your own god brothers and god sisters. You don't give anyone else. Okay, so these are kind of inappropriate ways of discriminating. Okay, and then remember we mentioned this before, but I just want to make sure that you understand that what is the feeling that it creates in other devotees.
Be left out, feel like you're not part of the community and feel left out and isolated.
Yeah. So we don't want that. If you want to keep ISKCON united, we want to have friendly relationships with everyone. Okay. I think we kind of discussed these questions, so okay. Katamai?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself wanted our cooperation. He is God Krishna, and therefore cooperation is a very important thing. Nobody should think that I have got so great ability, I can do. No, it is simply by cooperation we can do very big things. United we stand, divided we fall. This is our. So be strong in pushing on Krishna consciousness, and Krishna will help. He is the strongest. Still, we must be combined together.
This is a really nice quote from Prabhupada. You probably know this story when a father was showing his sons that they shouldn't argue, they should stand together. And he first asked them to bring one stick, like a thin stick, and he broke it very easily. And he said, okay, now bring 10 sticks. But when the 10 sticks were all together, he couldn't break it. So in the same way, alone, even if we are a very great devotee, alone it's very, very easy to break us. But if we are together, if we somehow manage to cooperate, work together despite differences, then it can't be, then we can't be broken, or ISKCON cannot be broken. And it's not easy, but this is the thing that will please Krishna, will please Prabhupada, will please Lord Chaitanya, and ultimately they are the ones that we get our strength from. So individually, on our own, we don't have much strength or talent. We get it by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Prabhupada, Krishna, and we please them by working together to please them. Okay, and then there's this really nice picture. Can you read out the quote?
Your love for me will be shown by how much you cooperate to keep this institution together after I am gone.
Okay, so it's a nice picture with lots of devotees, and they're all kind of, Prabhupada is the center, the focus, and then even after Prabhupada is physically not on the planet, pleasing him and Prabhupada's teachings and Prabhupada's person is still in the focus. Okay, any last questions, points?
Yeah, I was just thinking about how this, the point that we should not discriminate and we should include everyone. You know, like often there's so many different gurus and in the temple, and we should include everyone. And I thought, I think maybe I got kind of took it on from last time I did the disciple course, but I was I'm trying to kind of, because we have maybe 2 or 3 ladies who are like who got different gurus, and I think they're the only ones in the temple who have their gurus. So I always try to like talk to them about their guru, and I think that's kind of makes it inclusive. And because both their gurus are my Shiksha gurus, so I often try to like listen to their classes, and then like I want to see one of their gurus, and ask them about like, okay, when did you last see a guru and where he's now, and I think that helps as well, like just
Definitely. Yeah.
helps them feel like they're included and they're not just like isolated. It's not just about Durmita Swami and Shiram Swami, it's also their guru too. Yeah.
That's very good. It's a really nice attitude, a really nice way of approaching it. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Do we want a 10-minute break, or should we just go through the questions now and then have it?
I could get a tea real quick, actually.
Okay, so let's come back for 11:10, and then we can go through the questions. Haribol. Haribo. Haribo. Okay, so we'll just quickly run through the questions, and then also if you have any questions, then we can also try to address that. Okay. Oh, I need to share the screen. Okay, so this is especially for Leon, but obviously Katamai will look at it as well. So you see there are 20 questions on the page 8 and 9 of your student handbook. You'll have 20 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it gives a general idea of where you find the answers, but we'll go through them anyway, and all the way down to 20. Okay, so these are the questions. So first, explain the similarities and differences between the two main categories of guru. This is Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. First, the similarities. They both give Shiksha or teaching. They both connect us to the Parampara. They both deliver the disciple or help them come closer to Krishna. They, to some extent, they both may accept sinful reactions, although this is more the Diksha Guru. Generally, they say at the time of initiation, the Diksha Guru accepts the sinful reaction. And there's also this purport in the, or translation in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it says that they are equal and identical manifestation of Krishna, in the sense that they're both helping you come closer to Krishna. So these are the similarities. And then differences. Diksha Guru, he gives official or formal connection to the disciplic succession, Parampara. He gives Harinam Diksha, Hare Krishna mantra, and Mantra Diksha, the Gayatri mantra. He accepts the vows. He accepts sinful reaction. He gives the name. An important difference that you only have one Diksha Guru. You can have many Shiksha Gurus, either formal or informal. Is this okay? Any questions relating to this? Okay. So give at least 4 arguments to refute Ritvikvad. Now, Leon told me that this Ritvik philosophy, he finds it a little, this was the first time he heard about it. But I put up some documents you can read about it. For the defeating it, you can just give some of the arguments from the student handbook. So you can go through these. They're just down here. By the way, this is an open book thing, so you don't have to kind of close the book and do it like that. So you can find all your answers in the book. I just want to run through it and make sure you... So they're on page 16. So you can find 4 arguments from here. And one that's not really here, at least not explicitly, is that a living guru can correct, guide, chastise, monitor the development or progress of a disciple, whereas if you take initiation from Prabhupada, then that's not there. Okay. Okay, explain Guru Padashraya in ISKCON. So, do you remember what Guru Padashraya means? Okay, so taking shelter of the Guru's lotus feet. And it's very important to mention that there are 3 sources of this shelter. Who are the 3?
Could you repeat that again?
Who are the 3 sources of Guru Padashraya? Leon, you know?
Prabhupada, Shiksha Guru, and
Diksha Guru. So Prabhupada, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru. Okay. So this is very important to mention, and I can also mention that Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent Shiksha Guru, and taking shelter of him is foundational both at the beginning of our spiritual life, but it should be there all the time. And ultimately, we are delivered, we are helped to go back to Godhead by a combination of all three. And at different times in our life, we may take more shelter of one than the other, but all three should be there. We should chant Prabhupada's, at least the first of Prabhupada's pranam mantras, even after we take initiation from a Diksha Guru. Right, offering to Prabhupada. Okay, so these are the things you should mention. Explain how Srila Prabhupada functions as the preeminent Shiksha Guru and founder Acharya of ISKCON. So how Prabhupada is different from all the other gurus, both in terms of Shiksha, teaching, and also because he's the founder Acharya. So here you can mention things like Prabhupada wrote the books that we all follow. Prabhupada wrote down the 7 purposes of ISKCON, which is like the guiding light for what we're doing and why we're doing it. Prabhupada legally founded and registered ISKCON. He clarified the priorities of ISKCON, preaching, book distribution, emphasis on these things. Prabhupada established many aspects of ISKCON, like the kind of tilak we have, dress, what we sing during the morning program, what are the songs that we sing. Prabhupada made very major adjustments. For example, ladies being in an ashram, that never happened before. But because Prabhupada saw that in the West, it's necessary, he made these adjustments, the number of rounds we chant. In Gaudiya Math, during Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time, as far as I know, it was temple residents would chant 64 rounds every day. Grihastas who lived at home, they would chant 16 once they were kind of a little bit retired. And devotees who had like young children, lots of family responsibilities, work, they would chant 4. So it was like different. But Prabhupada says everybody chants 16. You can chant more, but Prabhupada established that 16 for everybody. So for us, that's the standard. And Prabhupada also established GBC and the whole administrative structure. And then also the basic sadhana practices like morning program, these kind of things. Okay, so this is question 4. Question 5, why is it important that Prabhupada remains the preeminent Shiksha Guru for future generations? So this is, we kind of discussed this quite a lot before, so to keep unity in ISKCON, prevent the kind of going down or the erosion of the standards, the mood and mission of Prabhupada, and keeping Prabhupada in the center helps relationships among devotees, among Srila Prabhupada's followers. Okay, and then Prabhupada is also the permanent shelter for all ISKCON devotees for all times. Is this okay so far? Any questions? Okay. 6. Briefly describe with reference to current ISKCON law appropriate methods of worship for Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON current and future gurus. So all these things I'm kind of saying what's expected in the answer, but you can look back in your student handbook, you can look at the recordings, you can look at the slides, so you'll also find the answers there. So the appropriate methods. So for Prabhupada, we have daily Guru Puja in the temple room. For current gurus and future gurus, there may be a separate Guru Puja outside of the temple room. For Prabhupada, even after we are initiated and we chant our Guru's pranam mantra, we still chant first of Prabhupada's pranam mantras, Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Prabhupada's picture is always on the altar as part of the disciplic succession. Our Diksha Guru's picture, we bring it in when we do arti or some worship, and we take it out after. Vyasa Puja for Prabhupada, that's the kind of prominent Vyasa Puja all over ISKCON. Our own Guru's Vyasa Puja, it's a little bit more modest. Okay, Laon?
Would you say it's a good idea? Well, it probably is a good idea to have a good relationship with Srila Prabhupada before you get initiated by a Diksha Guru. And how do you know if you have a good relationship with Prabhupada?
So you can always have a better relationship. So it's not like a black and white thing that you can do a checklist, but you should feel that you have quite a good working knowledge of Prabhupada's teachings, because that will help you find the person who represents those teachings and who can help you kind of go deeper in those teachings, can help you how to apply those teachings in your daily life. But if you don't understand the teachings, then you don't really know what kind of guru you're looking for. So for us, in general, our relationship with Prabhupada is through his books. So read his books, try to develop a relationship through that. And another really, really effective method is praying to Prabhupada. So you can pray to Prabhupada's Murti, or pray to Prabhupada's picture, or just in your mind, you can pray to Prabhupada. And you can even pray to Prabhupada, please manifest who's the person that's best for me to take initiation from. Is this okay? Does this?
That's perfect. I did try, like, just praying to Prabhupada, like on his Vyasa Puja, and saying, like, can you please give me some appreciation for you, because I didn't feel like I was really understanding the effect he was having. And I was listening to a class by Bhaktivinoda Swami, and all of a sudden, like this, like wave of like emotion came over me, like in appreciation of Prabhupada. So it works.
That's really nice. I'm really happy to hear that. Because that also increases our faith in Prabhupada, increases our faith in the process of devotional service. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Describe the appropriate attitude for an ISKCON Guru in regard to the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and the authority structure within ISKCON. So the main point here is that he needs to be loyal to both. So he needs to be loyal to the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, but like I said, you need to know Prabhupada's teachings to a good extent so you understand whether your guru is loyal or not. And then cooperation with the authority structure. So gurus don't work outside. They don't just kind of tell their disciple, go away from this temple, go somewhere else. I mean, they may say that, but only in cooperation with the kind of temple authorities or GBC authorities. Otherwise, it just becomes very chaotic. Okay, so loyalty both to teachings of Prabhupada and to the authority structure. Okay, 8. I'm sorry, it keeps, I don't know why, jumping. Why should one accept Diksha and Shiksha Gurus only within ISKCON and not from outside of ISKCON? So one of the documents I shared is Shivaram Swami's paper or document about Shiksha outside of ISKCON. So he discusses it in much detail. You don't have to write a summary of that whole paper, but it will help your understanding. But the main point is that if we only take Shiksha or teaching inside ISKCON, it will always be aligned with Prabhupada's mood and mission, for example, emphasis on preaching. And there's much less danger of getting confused. And there's already so many gurus besides our Diksha Guru. There's so many senior devotees that we can take instruction from, inspiration from. So there's enough support and shelter there. And Prabhupada himself wanted us to remain within ISKCON. So by that we are following his footsteps. Following his instructions. Describe the appropriate attitude for an ISKCON disciple toward gurus in other Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara and organizations. So main point here is showing respect, but not kind of arranging to hear classes from them or something. Okay, it's not that you're visiting a temple in Mayapur, a Gaudiya Math temple, and there's a Gaudiya Math sannyasi giving lecture. It's not that you run out and jump into the Ganges, because so don't be like that. But in general, just keep hearing from ISKCON devotees, but be respectful to all other Vaishnavas. They're all very, very dear to Krishna. Does this make sense? Okay. Okay. Question 10. Explain the importance of initiation vows with reference to comments from Srila Prabhupada. So here you just go back to this lesson. I think it was 6 or 7. I think, yeah, just look at the lesson on initiation vows and just quote a few things from Prabhupada. Prabhupada really emphasized that once or twice, if there is a foredan, that's fine, but after a while, it's what are you doing? It becomes useless. Krishna forgives once or twice, but don't keep doing it. And also explain how meat eating kind of cultivates this violence. So if you don't eat meat, that will create more compassion. No intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. These are related to these 4 principles of compassion, austerity, cleanliness, and truthfulness. So you can mention that, and that's fine. List some qualifications of guru that you consider important in reference to Shastra, and the mandatory qualifications of Diksha Guru in ISKCON. This is Appendix 3. So this is at the end of your student handbook. Just read through it, and then just give some of the qualifications from there. And also we went through quite a few, like they know the absolute truth, they live according to the absolute truth, they control their mind and senses, they can teach their disciples. And then you got all the things from Kripamoy Prabhu's list, and then from Appendix 3. So list some of the qualifications from there. Okay. Discuss appropriate and inappropriate methods and reasons for selecting guru. So appropriate methods, you can explain what's in the student handbook. This, first 6 months, take shelter of Prabhupada, understand Prabhupada's teachings, then start thinking about taking shelter of a Diksha Guru, how you should approach through with a letter of recommendation from your temple president or Namahata leader. And then there is like a mutual getting to know each other period, and then you take first initiation, then there is so just go through that whole process. Also explain that it's the responsibility of the disciple that with the use of his own intelligence, he kind of makes a decision of who to take initiation from. Okay, so don't just because somebody is an ISKCON approved guru, it's not an excuse for us to put aside our intelligent discrimination. And just general appropriate reasons for selecting a guru. He inspires me in Krishna consciousness. His advice helps me to overcome difficulties and challenges and move forward in spiritual life. He has many disciples who seem to be very enthusiastic in Krishna consciousness and progressing nicely. He's able to teach me just as he can teach his other disciples. So these are some of the reasons, but it's not that you have to write exactly this, but within this. And then some of the inappropriate methods and reasons. So inappropriate reasons may be external charisma, they can sing really nicely, or a pressure from your, like in the temple or from your Namahata, that everybody else is his disciple, so I also have to be his disciple, or his disciples are the authorities in the temple, so I might get more power if I'm also, so it's kind of political power kind of considerations. or he always gives initiation very quickly, and I also want initiation quickly. So these are inappropriate reasons. And then for methods, it's just kind of not going through this proper method that's described earlier. Okay, 13. Discuss with examples the relationship between Guru Seva and service to the mission of ISKCON. Explain the importance of a balanced approach to these two. So service to the mission of ISKCON is not different from service to Guru. Guru is trying to please his Guru, who's either Srila Prabhupada or a disciple of Prabhupada. So they also want to fulfill the mission of Prabhupada, fulfill the mission of ISKCON. So there is no difference between the Guru Seva, serving the Guru, and the mission of ISKCON, serving the mission of ISKCON. And then examples may be offering Guru Dakshin, or offering money for ISKCON projects, distributing books, worshipping the deity, so any, or even doing personal service, helping your Guru do his preaching, organizing a preaching program for them. Okay, and the importance of balanced approach. So it's not that you only serve your Guru and you completely ignore any preaching or general service, or that you only care about the preaching and the mission, and even when your Guru visits after 2 years, you don't go for the class, you don't try to find opportunities to serve him, you just go out on book distribution. Okay, so have a balanced approach, just explain that. Okay. Number 14. What is Guru Vapu and Guru Vani Seva? Do you remember, Leon?
Guru Vapu is service to the Guru's body, and Guru Vani Seva is serving his words and instructions.
And which one is more important and why?
Or Guru Vapu, because Guru Vapu in the present context, because you get personal association, but Guru Vani Seva, like in the future, because you can just serve eternally. It's like eternal.
Okay, so here it's important that you say that Guru Vani is more important. So serving the instructions is more important, but also say that if there is opportunity for Guru Vapu, then take it. Okay, so serving the instruction is more important because it's permanent. Guru Vapu is only there occasionally, but when it's there, make sure you take advantage. And then you can also mention that Prabhupada only met his Guru 4 or 5 times. And you can also mention that analogy about the bug sitting on the king's lap and maybe physically close, but it's not really associating with the king. So in the same way, someone may be very close to the Guru physically, but unless they understand their mood and mission and serve their instruction, then they're not actually close to the Guru. Okay, give at least 4 examples of appropriate and inappropriate subjects on which to seek advice from the Guru. So appropriate issues, advice on how to improve your service, philosophical inquiries. You can also ask, higher stages of devotional service, how to cultivate your advancement or relationship with Krishna. So anything kind of related to Krishna consciousness and how to practice Krishna consciousness. Inappropriate issues may be how to wear my sari, health, finance. Sometimes even this is not necessarily inappropriate if it directly impacts your service and you want to ask for some advice on, should I take this job that will mean that I earn twice as much money, but I won't have time to spend time with my family or chant my rounds. Okay, so it's if it directly impacts your spiritual life. Okay. Discuss how a disciple should behave toward one's gurus, god brothers, and god sisters. So behave the same as you would behave towards your guru. Give them the same respect. Try to serve them in the same way. At the same time, your Diksha Guru is still your Diksha Guru. So we give this example of if you are serving a whole group of them, serving prasadam, you would serve prasadam first to your Diksha Guru, but then you would also serve or the god brothers, god sisters at the same time as well. Okay, any points or questions so far? No? Okay. And then describe what you consider to be the appropriate attitude and behavior for an ISKCON disciple in regard to promoting one's guru in public and within the society of Vaishnavas. Give reference to relevant Shastra and current ISKCON laws in your response. Why is it important for ISKCON disciples to develop an appropriate attitude in this regard? So this is what we discussed today. Don't wear, badges and clothes and caps with your guru, like pushing it in everyone's face. Don't have a huge poster up, but you can have a picture of him in your own locker, in your cupboard, or in your house. And also, if there is a public preaching program, you can have a poster with the guru's picture. You shouldn't kind of try to push uninitiated devotees that they should take initiation from your guru as well, because your guru is the best guru. That's inappropriate. And the reason why it's important that we have the appropriate attitude is that Prabhupada remains the preeminent Shiksha Guru. New devotees are not encouraged to kind of give up developing a relationship with Prabhupada before taking initiation. And so this kind of guru canvassing doesn't become predominant. There's no kind of factions, cliques created, and there's no isolation or feeling. There's no competitive spirit. So these are the benefits of the appropriate attitude. And for the appropriate Shastric reference, you can give this verse from Hari Bhakti Vilas, this Gopayed, that you should hide your, I think it was here, maybe not. You should hide your mantra, you should hide your Ishtadeva, you should hide your Guru, you should hide your mantra. So this can be the Shastric scriptural reference. Okay, why is it important to publicly promote Srila Prabhupada as the founder, Acharya, and preeminent Shiksha Guru in ISKCON for present and for future? So it keeps a unified feeling within ISKCON, prevents the danger of cliques and factions. Prabhupada is the ideal Acharya. So this is how you understand what a Guru is like, what an Acharya is like, by understanding what Prabhupada is like. And then, with individual ISKCON gurus, some people are inspired by one, other people are inspired by someone else, but with Prabhupada there is no difference of opinion. Everybody is inspired by Prabhupada, so he's the common denominator. And it also plants the seed of Prabhupada Ashraya, or taking shelter of Prabhupada in new devotees. Okay? Discuss inappropriate attitudes and behavior for an ISKCON disciple in regard to favoritism or bias on the basis of one's Diksha Guru. Why is it important for ISKCON disciples to develop an appropriate attitude in this regard? So, inappropriate attitudes and behavior would be favoring or reserving facilities or things for their own god brothers, god sisters, only give Mahaprasadam to them. If you're going for Ratha Yatra, then only reserve the seats in the bus for them. Especially if one has some power, is a temple president or a temple commander. They may be unwilling to receive other ISKCON gurus or let them give class in their center. So it becomes very isolated. and then it can create unfriendly, uncooperative attitude towards other gurus, disciples. So it's the opposite of what we are trying to achieve. And then number 20, describe practical ways of developing and maintaining cooperative relationship with all ISKCON Vaishnavas without inappropriate discrimination on the basis of guru. So what is a practical way of developing this cooperative relationship? Katamai gave a nice example to kind of be friendly, kind of be open to each other's inspirations from their gurus, and being respectful, enthusiastic to serve other gurus as well, not just our own, giving equal facilities to disciples of all gurus, encouraging other gurus' disciples in their faith and commitment to their gurus. And also a very important one is the 6 loving exchanges that's mentioned in Nectar of Instruction. Leon, do you know which are these 6 loving exchanges?
I can think of one. Giving and receiving gifts.
That's already 2.
That's 2.
Yeah, that's giving gifts and receiving gifts.
That's what I know. That's what I know.
So giving and receiving gifts, giving and receiving prasadam, and then revealing the mind confidentially and inquiring confidentially. That's 6. So practicing these 6 loving exchanges with our devotees, not just with our own God brothers, God sisters. Okay, so this is the 20 questions. Was this okay for you, Leon? Do you feel you can answer the questions now? Okay, good. So if you are able, I would suggest to try to do this within a week, so it's still fresh in your mind and it's done. If you're not able to do it within a week, you do it in 2 weeks, that's also fine. But try to do it as soon as possible. I go through it, I mark it, and then if it's all fine, if there's something needs to be corrected, I write back to you and then you can correct it. Otherwise, I send your certificate to Priya Kundan Shyamagori, and yeah, there you are. And Katamai, she's already done it once, she's initiated, so she's just here for a review. Okay. Any last thoughts, reflections? How was the course? Any last questions?
I just really enjoyed it. Sorry I really enjoyed it. I found it really informative. It wasn't like going to school. It was nice. So thank you.
I'm really happy to hear that. Thank you, Leon. It's inspiring for me. Thank you. Katamai?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. Thanks for letting us take this course again, even though I know you're very busy with other courses, but I'm feeling grateful that you've done it for us both. And yeah, it's just nice to do it again and get like a refresh on, and kind of maybe go deeper into what it means to be a good disciple and how I should act with the guru and other Vaishnavas as well, and kind of more get some nice points to meditate on, like about the position of guru as well, and Prabhupada and how they two relate. And yeah, so it's nice because I remember like things that I didn't really pick up on the first time I did it really stood out to me this time. So it's kind of deepened my my appreciation and my understanding a lot more. So yeah, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for teaching us.
Thank you. That's really good. It's my experience that, like, even when I'm teaching a course, every time I teach it, I find something new in it. So it's not just learning, even when you're teaching it. So it's Krishna always reveals more. So it's nice. Okay, thank you very much for your company. I'm really happy that I got to know you a little more, Leon. I'm really happy to see you, Katamai. Have a great rest of the day, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Sadhusanga ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.